Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you. I am working with the June 2019 Clique Kit. So I started out with this pink paper, which is by One Canoe 2, I believe, and from the Goldenrod collection. And I wanted to create a vertical line for my photo to sit on. So I used that, and then I grabbed also in the kit, there's this Heidi Swapp green paper, and I cut another piece out of that, or rip another piece out of that. And then you're gonna see me kind of move this whole thing around multiple times. I had it at the top of my page, at the bottom of my page, on the left side of my page, on the right side of my page, and just was trying to figure out the best placement. The reason that I chose this photo to work with these is because it's a photograph of my daughter and her very best friend, and they're being silly and they're in a canoe on land at a place that we were at, like a museum, and they're being kind of silly, but I like all the natural colors in it, and I thought this kit really fit the natural colors of this photo. So then the next thing I grabbed is I grabbed this specialty paper, which is from the Dear Lizzy collection. It's All Good, I think it's called. And I'm just fussy cutting a bunch of the gold flowers out. And I actually do a lot of this off camera because it's really kind of boring to watch somebody cut things out. But I wanted you to see I cut some of these really small things so that I can tuck those behind the photo or wherever I think they actually end up being tucked behind the ripped paper. And then right there like that. And then I also cut some bigger pieces off of that. And I used just a little bit of it to frame my photo, just like as a layer behind my photo. Along with this pink paper, which I cannot for the life of me remember. I feel like that is also Dear Lizzy from the same collection. And then the last, oh, I have two more pieces of layers. This one right here, I'm using my tissue paper like I usually do, and I'm just using my ruler there as kind of a straight edge to rip it so that it has a ripped look. And then once I staple all those together, I realized I think I want a little more something else behind it. So I grabbed a card from the ephemera pack that had a lot of green on it and just used that as another layer behind my photo. So I'm going to rough up the edges of that, and then my main layers there are pretty much finished. I am going to use this marshmallow cardstock as my base and go ahead and glue down my layers here on the left side. I finally decided that I wanted the left side, and for some reason that gave me a lot of problems. So anyway, I am going ahead and just gluing that stuff down, and now I'm going to try to place those pieces along the left side of my page. I haven't glued them down yet, but I just wanted to place them over there to see if that worked out for me. And after I get this all glued down, I realize I need to move that green over just a little bit. I want a little less of that green to show. And so I just do that, and it was still pretty, I hadn't glued everything down super firm yet, so it was still worked out really well. And then I popped up my photo. So I kind of walked away from this layout for a day and came back to it once I ripped the pages. I knew I couldn't go any further. Like I ripped the papers for the left or the right side, and I couldn't even decide if I wanted on the left or right side. So after I walked away for a while, for about a day, I came back to it and I remembered that these alphas are also in the kit. And so I decided to extend, rather than using just the Better Together, which is from One Canoe 2, I decided to expand my title so it was Life is Better When We're Together. And so, which is so true. They have such a good time together, and when they're not together, because we're 3 hours away from them, they spend a lot of time on FaceTime, playing video games together that way, or just talking and being silly. So, and we got to spend a little time with them, a day and a half or so with them on this trip, and it was just a nice time together. So once I placed all of that, then I decided I wanted those little the vellum, sorry, to go off the edge, and then I'll cut that off and I'll use some of that, some more of that towards the end of the video, I think, actually. So now, once I got it all my alphas placed there, I realized that I needed to move a few things. I also really wanted to add another color to this, and I wasn't finding a lot of the ephemera pieces. They were all from One Canoe too, and although they were very beautiful, many of them are in the same basic colors, and it just looked bland to me. I usually use a lot of color. And so also the ephemera pieces that I had left, because I've made more than one layout with this kit, were pretty big. And so I was looking for things I could fussy cut, and I fussy cut some strawberries out, and now I'm fussy cutting a few flowers that I don't end up using. And then there's this paper that has a whole bunch of, I think this is the other side of that strawberry paper. It has a whole bunch of phrases on it. And so I picked three. One says seek magic, and one is, or they all have hashtags in front of them. Hashtag seek magic, hashtag best ever, and hashtag be you. And I decided to use those on my layout. Now I'm just trying to decide if I want to use the flowers or use the strawberries, and I ended up going with the strawberries. And I remembered that there were some hearts on this. The phrase stickers had some hearts on it, and I liked the way it added a little bit of orange, kind of an orange to the layout as well, and so I liked that. And so now I'm adding some tangled thread in kind of a peach orange color underneath my photo. And then I'm almost done, actually. I am going to glue all of that stuff down, which I haven't done yet. So I sped that up a lot. When I do that, I'll speed that up a lot so that you don't have to just watch me glue. I am using both the Scotch tape runner as well as the Scotch quick dry glue that is in my fine liner bottle. Scotch doesn't pay me anything to advertise for them or anything like that. I just really like both of those things, and they both happen to be Scotch. So now I'm going to use my fine liner bottle to glue down a bunch of strawberries. My thickers didn't really want to stick very well, so I'm adding a little bit of glue to those. And then I think here in a second I'm going to glue down, or I'm going to cut off the edges, the stuff that's going over the edges. Then I'm going to use that that vellum that's going over the edges that I cut off. I'm going to use that as a little bit more to stick. Oh, I felt like the whole left side needed a little bit more color pops over there. And so those flowers that I cut out that I didn't use, they had leaves. And so I cut some of those leaves off and added those over to the left. And that really made, at that point, I was like, okay, now I like this layout better because it carried some color over. Then there's this bicycle here that I will never use on a layout, but I really liked the basket with flowers in it, and so I just cut that off. So don't be afraid to alter your ephemera and make it work for you. Like, I used a card behind my photo just as a layer and not as the card, and I cut this one up so that I can use this piece of ephemera the way that I wanted to. And then let's see. So now I'm going to cut off this edge, and then I'm going to add those into the layers here on the green, right in between the green and the pink pages. So I do need to do a little fussy cutting to make those a little smaller, but then it's just, I'm basically adding like leaves and stems rather than the flowers to that area. And I think I call it done. So as the close-ups come up, I'm kind of sad because this is probably my last layout with Clique Kits, because the June kit is their last kit. It's a beautiful kit. Follow the links below if you want more information about how you can get the kit. I did add a little butterfly off camera. I forgot. I usually put a butterfly on my daughter's layouts, and so I added a little butterfly to that. That's about it. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and I will see you in my next video.